Hey guys, we finally got this motorhome home. It's Monday morning. The footage I shot at the stores when we was picking it up, that was Friday. And I didn't film between there. We had some issues, not with, and none of them was really with the motorhome, so I'll get to them. But overall, I got the awning pulled out. The awning looks brand new. We figured, I rolled it out yesterday, and I figured it'd be all corroded, but it's like brand spanking new. Not a spot in it, so. But what happened is I don't have my gimbal on me. I left it in my wife's car and she's at work, but I'm handling it, so excuse a little shakiness. But yeah, what happened is after I got off the filming things, I got to work on it, and we'll go inside. I'll tell you what I've got to work on it so far and what I'll show you the little piece of. If I can get down in there. You can see the new piece right there. I filmed that, replacing that. See, I did that Friday night down there. Shut this again. But let's see. Step back outside. But we had I started working on it, and so first thing I did was get all that put together, cleaned all that off, put that new piece on there, filled it up with water. And I went ahead and changed the oil before I turned the key over or anything. So I went ahead and changed the oil in it. It was a little low on transmission fluid. I put a little transmission fluid in, kind of get it up the line. I know you're supposed to, start them up and get them hot before you can really, check the level on them. So so I got ready to crank her up. I turned the key over, and it made a click sound, like the check engine light come on, and then you turn it over, and then when it gets running, the lights go out in the dash. Well, the lights come on the dash, and as soon as I hit the start button, it made a click sound, and it just power went gone, was out. Obviously I fixed it because we got it here, home. And so I thought, well, the battery cable's loose because the previous owner put two brand new batteries in it, or actually her and then that woman that looked at it a month earlier did, talked her into it so they could start it up. So I got two brand new batteries in it, courtesy of them. But you can see we've kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but I'll get into all that. So what happened was I took I tried to troubleshoot it. The batteries, it didn't matter what I tightened up. I checked power, going to everything. Power looked good. The battery cables, I retightened them. I made sure everything was clean on them. Checked them again and again. I just couldn't figure out what was going on. I couldn't figure it out. I was panicking. We was there for an hour. It didn't matter what I did. I turned the key over. Nothing. The headlights, whatever happened, it killed the headlights at the time. I mean, I figured out what was wrong with it, but at the time I couldn't, it killed the headlights, wouldn't come on, nothing, zilch. But now the interior lights all still work from the house battery. It's the coach battery. I guess you'd call it the driving battery. I got that little awning right there pulled out. It's a little deteriorated there. There's generator. But figured it an hour. We was about an hour. It's starting to get close to getting dark, and I started panicking. I said, we gotta get this thing out of here, and get it out of here before dark. I don't want to be trying to figure this out with a flashlight because there was no power down there, nowheres. I mean, I probably could have run the extension cord, but I didn't have a light. I just brought flashlights with me because I figured we'd have it out there. And I actually discovered it. Come to find out, was where I put that thermostat housing on, there's two bolts. One of them had a ground wire, had two wires going to a washer, and I just didn't have it tight enough. And it must have been the ground for like maybe the control box that powers everything, because I know it ain't just a ground wire that power, because it shut off everything. It is some kind of control box that distributes power, I guess. and I just barely like touched it, and it clicked again. I thought, oh, I found it. So I went ahead and took the bolt off and cleaned it. I don't know if I can, you know, it was where it's bolted on. It was just 2 wires going to a washer. And the original piece that was on there, the original thermostat housing was pot metal, so it grounded probably better. Whereas this one's aluminum, so it's not going to ground, so it has to ground through the bolt and the nut. So I cleaned it off with a wire brush real good, put it on there. She fired right up and purred like a kitten. And I thought, I was panicking. That's the only problem we've had out of the motorhome. Was that. Well, a little bit of brake issue, but that's because it's been sitting for 4 years. But I'll go back inside. So we left with it. We'd stayed in Warner Robin at a called what's that called? Warner Robin. It's about 20 miles north of Perry, where this thing was stored. The woman lived in Macon, but so we went ahead and got it running. It about a half tank gas. I put some, you know, fuel treatment, some injector cleaner and stuff on it. So we left with it. Well, I followed behind me. So we didn't drive it up I-75. There was a little side road called 41, because with its 14-year-old tires, I didn't want to get on the freeway. So we drove it to the Quality Inn. There's a place there to park motorhomes there. So parked there and checked in the motel room. Then we went and got a bite to eat. The right turn signal didn't work, so I kind of fixed it. After we went and got us a bite to eat, we come back and got it fixed. And I had an appointment at 7:30 Saturday morning to have a new set of tires put on. I mean, it was after dark we got this thing home Saturday. So I'll tell you what I've been doing. You can see some tools right there, what I've been doing, what I've checked out so far. What happened Saturday morning, we had a set of tires. It was just, I mean, I probably could have just drove it down there and walked back to the motel room. So we took it down there and dropped it off. And we went to some shopping. There's a Target, Hobby Lobby. Joanne, my wife, she sews and stitches, and you've probably seen her channel. So she wanted to check all that stuff out, do some shopping. I had to pick up some other things. I wanted to get a special transmission tube, because I was trying to pour transmission fluid in that little funnel I got, and it was awful. You know, they make these transmission tubes where they hook on the bottle, and you stick the tote and you turn it up. Because I made a mess. You can see where I spilled transmission fluid and all that. I made a mess. Some up down there. So there's the 2 new batteries, and I've got it in the garage in there, that little tube. So I got some more transmission fluid because what I had wasn't enough. So and it was awful. I may insert a picture. I took a picture of them working on it. They had it halfway in the garage and halfway out, and somewhere's in this part right here, if I can. The picture I took. And so so they worked on it for 4 hours. I thought they closed like at 1 o'clock on Saturday. They closed at 5. And they put the slowest guy on, and it took him 4 hours, because we were gone, and we done all our shopping. We come back, and man, they worked on it. They had it for 4 hours. It was awful. I mean, there were cars going in and out. We saw cars being pulled in, and then they work on them and pull them out, and put tires on them and pull them out. People were coming in and leaving, and I was just staying there. I didn't really want to say anything, because I was afraid they'd like leave the lug nuts loose or something, you know. I'll show them to complain, you know. But I didn't. The guy apologized, you know. I kind of hung around because they had it halfway out the back, so I wasn't in the garage. And it was probably about 1 o'clock when we left with it. And there was a pilot station right down the road before we got on the freeway. And that's why I wanted to fill it up and check my transmission fluid and, you know, fill it up the proper line, because I've got the engine kind of hot and everything. So make sure all the engine oil, everything looked good, and we got her on the freeway, and it ran great. We got it when we got close to Atlanta. We got in like 4 or 5. We wanted to go around the bypass on 285, because I didn't want to take this thing through the middle of Atlanta, because they're so aggressive. I was afraid they'd run me off the road. So we ran the bypass, and I still, you know, they worked on the bypass pretty much the whole time. So, you know, it probably doubled their. It was about a 3.5 hour drive home, but it was probably actually 6 or 7 hours because of traffic. This thing handled very well in the traffic. Very, very, very well. Never run hot, never got over 200 degrees. You know, now the brakes, I have a major sticking caliper on the front driver's side, which if I figured out, yeah, so I'm gonna have to work on this right here. It's sticking real bad. Like if I ease on the brakes, it'll be fine, but if I have to like push really down on to get this thing stopped, it'll start making a thump sound. And you can let go of the steering wheel, and it'll like every time it thumps, it pulls it to the left. So it's just with the caliper sticking. But the rest of the brakes seem like they're working fine. So it'll probably ruin the brake pads and the rotor on that side, which I'm not worried about it. You know, that's gonna be one of the first things I do. But we got this thing home late Saturday night. It run perfect. The only problem I had was that little old ground wire, you know, when we were down there at the thing run great. So we got this thing home, you know, after dark Saturday night, and I got up yesterday morning, Sunday morning, fooled with it, and to see what worked. I kind of worked on it off and on all day. I had to go up to my parents' house, so we drove it up there to show them, because my daddy's kind of looking for a motorhome. He's got a fifth wheel now, but he's about to retire in a year, so he's wanting a motorhome. He's wanting something a little bigger than this with slide out. You know, my mom wants slide out. Me and my wife, we don't care nothing about slide outs. So we drove it up there and showed them. We stayed for a couple hours, but what I've got working in it is, the first thing I did was clean out, the generator would turn over, but it wouldn't start. And all it just needed the carburetor cleaned. Let's see if I can get it cranked up. The switch inside is kind of, pretty good. I had to kind of choke it. I had to run the choke up just a little bit. It's got like a vacuum on it that what it does, close the choke on it, and then it automatically opens it once it starts. But all I did was clean the carburetor, took out the original plug wires and everything else in it. The woman that had it before, never said she never even started it, knew how to start it or anything. She didn't have, I mean, she had it for a pretty good while. I mean, she had it for, I'm guessing she had it for 6 years, because the main reason why I think she's had it for 6 years, and it was registered in 15. Let me find this little piece of paper here, because that's her last name, and it says 114, like it was, and it was still stuck up on the windshield. It says 114, like that's today. So she's had it 6 years. She just probably drove it for, it was registered in 15, and then she's had it storage since 17, I think, because she said 3 or 4 years. So she's had it in storage since 16 or 17. But I mean, not like, you know, pulled it out once a year. I mean, she backed it in that storage place and left it there for 4 years, and never even like they shut the doors, locked it up, and left it until she decided to sell it. But generator runs, the switching unit, it'll switch over to generator. The air conditioner is ice cold, but it just barely blows, even on high. So it could be, I don't know, the fan up there, something could be clogged. I haven't tore into it yet, but it blows ice cold. Got the water heater to kick on. Now, the only issue I'm having is the refrigerator. It's kind of worrying me. The heating element's bad. You turn it on electric. It's not a 3-way fridge like my Dodge up there. It's just a 2-way. Right here is where it's supposed to be the 12 volt. There's no 12 volt, so it's just 110 or 120 and propane. And here's the heating element for the and this is where I got the wire loose, because I was testing it, because I took the wire loose on the heating element and turned on power and it's fine. But when I got the heating element, the wire is supposed to go right here. But so I just disconnected the heating element and turned it on to see if there was a short in here. It's not, it's the heating element's bad. So, and I don't see no white powder. So I don't know, I can't really tell. I see, maybe I just now noticed, maybe I guess that's some of it, I don't know. They say if you see any white powder, it's just got a leak. But I'm gonna try to do some, I haven't determined whether I'm gonna, if I do anything, I'm gonna replace a cooling unit. You can replace a cooling unit yourself for about 400 bucks. You know, you keep the refrigerator, you replace all this. You gotta pull the refrigerator out, and I got it working on propane, and I let it sit on there and it gurgled pretty much the whole time and didn't do nothing. Back got hot, but maybe the burping thing. I can do the burping thing. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Might see if I can level it up some more. Spin it around. So I'm gonna fool with that a little bit today. But you know, I'm not gonna replace a whole brand new refrigerator is about $1,200. That's what a lot of people were replacing with compressor refrigerators. But I mean, why? I mean, well, because it's easy. But the whole refrigerator is about $1,200, but you can replace the cooling unit for about $400, and just keep the refrigerator box and everything else, electronics, everything else in it. So that's what I'll do. If that cooling unit is bad, I'll just replace the cooling unit. And the furnace, if we can't get the furnace to kick on, which it's not a big deal because you can buy every part on them. You don't have to buy a whole furnace. You know, you can buy the furnaces on this seat, but you can turn the thermostat on, and it'll. That's what I need to do. I had this off. This right here is it cuts the gas off and on. It's got a switch, so I just turn it off instead of turning the actual handle off. So I'm gonna fool with the thermostat, but you hear it come on and blow, but you can't. It's not kicking on and getting hot. So yeah, I just turned my little switch on there. So come on. So it'll blow, but it won't blow hot. So I'm gonna fool with it. It's a little bit cooler this morning, so it might actually kick on if it does. So everything else works. The only thing is the refrigerator and the furnace, which the furnace ain't no big deal. As long as there's no leak in the actual unit that does the heating, I can replace the parts in them. You can buy every part in them. You don't have to replace the whole furnace. But I like everything to work. So the refrigerator and furnace is the only two issues. Now the water pump, I hear it come on, but I ain't hooked water up to it yet. So that stuff is usually pretty simple. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where I was pulling the parts out of the refrigerator, looking at it, and it would pop the breaker, and that's why I got all this down. Still got to fix this part right here. The table, I got the table laying on the bed back there because me and my wife drove it at my parents' house, and all four of us rode, and my mom and wife faced each other sitting here, and Daddy rode up there in front with me. So that's where we're at. So far, so good. Airbags were gone. I guess I had the you couldn't tell if they were ruptured or not, but I had them try to put some air in it when they was putting tires on it, and he said both of them are ruptured. He said one of them would take air, and then it would just instantly let another one even take it. So that's about $100. That's why it sits a little low in the front. And I'm gonna probably upgrade the steering just a little bit, like put a Bilstein stock steering shock on it, new shocks all the way around. I don't know if it being 29,000 miles on it, the bell cranks probably ain't wore on them. They're about $300 a piece, and it's got two of them on it. So I want to be able to make this thing where my wife can drive it, because right now with the steering airbags like it is, you can feel every vehicle, not just the tractor trailers come by. The little cars, you can feel the cars. I mean, they don't blow you off the road, but you can feel them come up beside you. So, but I mean, I could drive it fine, but you know, I want my wife to drive it real comfortably. Let's say you upgrade the steering, you can't even tell if tractor trailers go by you. So, yep. It's where we're at. We done some cleaning. I took it to the car wash yesterday morning before I took it to my parents and sprayed it off. I backed half of it in the car wash and then sprayed the back half and then turned it around and pulled the front. I could have pulled it all the way through into the car wash, but I'd had problems with the sprayer. Now I'm gonna clean it better that way, just to get some of the gunk so it just don't look horrible going down the road. So, but so far so good. You know, the refrigerator, you know, I mean, I know I got the refrigerator working the Dodge, just replacing the relay and what else did I replace? I think that's it. Oh, I had to replace the wire going to the igniter. But now the gas actually, and there's a little lamp on this one that lamp will come on. You hold it till the lamp goes out, but it'll spark and turn the gas on. So we'll figure out the refrigerator. It's not a big deal if I had to put a cooling unit in it, because for $3,000, hey, tires, cooling unit, everything else works pretty good. So that's where we're at, guys. Keep you updated. See you later.